Good morning, children. This is Jaisi Benoy, your SST teacher, and today we're going to continue with Chapter 3 Government. Now, this is the third video and the final video in this lesson. In the previous video, we learned about the different levels of our government and its functions of the central government, right? Today, we're going to learn first about the organs of our government and the role we play as citizens, how we got these rights, the rights that we enjoy today, and that will be the end of our chapter, and a little brief look about the world democracies. All right, so this is what we're going to do in today's video. Let's start with the organs of our Indian government. Now, there are three parts of our Indian government: the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. Now, the legislature is the lawmaking body of our government, and it makes the laws and the policies for the welfare of our country, for the people, for the welfare of the people of our country. And how does this happen? This happens through the parliament of our country, which is divided into two houses: the Lok Sabha, which is also known as the lower house, and the Rajya Sabha, which is also known as the lower house. So this is a part of the legislature which we have already studied in our previous standard. Now, in the executive, what happens? Now, once these laws are made by the parliament, they need to be implemented, correct? You cannot just make laws and not follow it. So, who is going to look after the implementation? So, it is implemented by the executive, and it consists of the president, the vice president, the cabinet ministers, the prime minister, and all of these together make it a point to see that the laws, this is their responsibility, this is their job to see that all citizens of our country, irrespective of caste, creed, religion, class, whether they are rich, poor, nothing, irrespective of all that, it is their job to see that everyone is following and abiding all the laws of our country, and those who are not following should be punished. So that is the job of the executive. Now, who is the executive? The president, the vice president, the cabinet ministers, which includes the prime minister and other ministers. Now, judiciary is the third organ of our government, and it is independent. All right, the executive and the parliament work together to form the rules and regulations of our country, but it is the job of the judiciary to be independent, away from the government, and to check that the government functions according to the constitution and protects the rights of the people. It is the job of the judiciary to protect the rights of the Indian people and see that the government of the country is working in following the constitution. Now, the court system of our country is divided into different levels. So the Supreme Court is the highest level. Below that is the High Court, and next to that, after that, we have the district and the sessions court, and followed by the lower court. So we first go to the lower courts with our complaints, the district and sessions court, and if that is not if we do not feel that we have got a justice there, we can always go to the high court, district and sessions court. And then if we are not happy with our judgment, we are not happy with the justice that we've got, we go to the high court. And then finally, and there also you're not happy with your justice, you think you've not got justice, the Indian citizen can always go to the Supreme Court. But whatever the Supreme Court decides will be the final. So Supreme Court is the final judiciary point in our country, and the judiciary system in our country works through different networks of the court all across the country. Now, in all this, what is the role of the citizens in the country? The government is doing its job, the legislative is making the rules, the executive is implementing, seeing that we are all following the rules, and judiciary is taking care that the government and the legislative are doing their job properly. So what are we doing then as citizens? Our job is to follow all the rules and regulations that are made in our country. Apart from this, it is also our job to vote for our people. for our representatives, because we rely on our elected representatives, we depend on our elected representatives. So that is why it is important that we choose the correct people for us, because if they do not work for the benefit of the citizens of our country, then the citizens of our country are going to suffer for the bad decisions that the government makes. So universal adult franchise is a very important aspect of our freedom, and it was very strongly propagated by Jawaharlal Nehru, by B.R. Ambedkar, and it is a very strong point of our freedom. We have been given this right from the beginning of our democracy, when we won our independence. Do you know when India became free? India became free on 15th August 1947, and we have always had the right to vote right from the beginning. Now, why did we get this right, and how did we get this right? We got this right irrespective of our caste, irrespective of our religion, irrespective of the gender, whether we are female or a woman, whether we are lower caste, whether we are upper caste. Nothing of that sort matter. We all have the right to vote right from 1947. So who made that happen? This is a picture of Dr. Rajendra Prasad, who is the first president of our country, and he's signing the constitution, where we have all this written down. This is a group of the members of our parliament at that time who are witnessing that constitutional signing. So this is the role that our freedom fighters and our early leaders played in an important part in giving us this right to freedom, right to equality, right to religious freedom, right to educational and cultural rights. And without these rights, we would not have been able to live like this in a country which is so diverse, which is multi-religious, which is multicultural and multi-ethnic in character. So this is because of these freedom fighters and our early leaders, our prime ministers and our presidents, who have played an important role. And all this is included in our constitution in the preamble: justice, liberty, equality, fraternity. So all this is for our secular country, for the freedom of a secular country, and this happened right from 1947. Now there are different other democracies in the world who follow the universal adult franchise. This picture which I have shown you is of different countries which are in the shades of green. It shows the countries that the shades of green, those are the countries that follow democracy, all right, in the world. But all these democratic countries have never had the voting rights for all from the beginning itself. This woman in fact had no voting rights in the beginning, and there was this long suffragette movement which in fact started in Netherlands, and the women fought for their voting rights because women were treated as second class citizens in those countries, and so women had to fight for voting rights. In the US, the women won the voting rights, their voting rights, in the year 1920. So when did the women of USA win the voting rights? In 1920, and they did not come easily. They had a very long suffragette movement which went on for many years. Similarly, the African origin people of America had also to fight very long battle to remove the class discrimination that was there against them, and they had to struggle very badly for getting their voting rights and equal rights in the USA. Similarly, this is a picture of the Africans fighting for their voting rights, for their freedom, and for the burying of apartheid. Now, apartheid was where the Africans or the black people of the country were forced to live separately away from the white people of the country. So that was called apartheid, and it was abolished only after a very long struggle which was led by Nelson Mandela, and he was inspired by Gandhiji to start the Satyagraha movement in Africa. And after a very long fight, they were finally able to win their voting rights and their freedom of equality, the right to equality, only in the year 1994, when they finally abolished the policy of apartheid, and the black Africans won the right to vote, and they were able to abolish apartheid in their country. So in this respect, our country has always been very good and advanced in giving equal right to all adults, irrespective of the gender, caste, region or ethnicity, right from when India became independent in 1947. This is an actual picture of 15th August 1947, when India became free, and our first Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru addressed the people from the Lal Killa, from the Red Fort. So we have been very Indians have been very advanced in the sense that we have all got the right to vote and have got the right to equality, and this is there for all adults, irrespective of the gender, irrespective of the caste, irrespective of the region or the ethnicity that we belong to. And that is why we should be so proud of the democracy of India, and that is why we need to value our democracy, because we often forget the struggles that our freedom fighters went through for us to achieve our struggle. After the oppression of the Britishers, for 150 years the Britishers were ruling over India. So after such a long struggle, it made sure that the independent India would be secular, would be free, and everyone, irrespective of their gender, even their gender. So it was there, that equality was there right from the beginning, and that is what makes India such an amazing democracy. So we should really be proud of our democratic country. Now this brings an end to chapter 3, our government. We need to stop here. You all need to go through the video, make a concept map of the organs of India, understand what your role as citizen is, and the importance of adult franchise. So we'll stop here. Please go through the video again. Thank you.